Coco and I are out on walks. Good girl. I'm working on a few things with her. Just got some treats here. One is just her general leash walking. She tends to kind of pull into the good girl. She tends to pull into the leash whenever she wants to go sniff something, or if there's a person, or basically any kind of stimulus that excites her. She does tend to drag into the end. So that's not helping with the dog reactive stuff on leash. Because it makes it difficult to handle her because she's so strong. So if she does start to get excited and pull into the end, she is so heavy, so I'm trying my best to plant myself against her so she'd pull into the end here, even to go sniff something. What I'm doing is I'm not dragging her back with the leash, I'm just encouraging her to come back towards me. So I'm just holding it fast here. Good girl. Good job. And once it's loose again, we'll start walking. I just don't want you walking or allowing her to drag you towards things. Because that is just something that makes your... Oh, you have to snow. Something that makes your reactive work just that much harder because she's already kind of pulling a little bit, and so she's more likely to drag in when she sees a dog. The other thing we're doing is I'm just walking around. Some of the houses in this area have dogs in the yard, so we're looking for dogs that are either inside their house or inside their yard so that I can practice giving her food and helping her calm down. Good girl. When we see another dog, and maybe meet a friendly one through the fence. Stinker. So I know the dogs in the neighborhood pretty well, so I use them often for training. So I know which ones are going to be friendly or not. So it's good to get to know the dogs in your neighborhood that are out behind a fence or on a balcony. Behind a fence is nice because you can just walk right up and actually meet through the fence. She may not be ready for that right away, but after you do a few sessions, I think the main thing for you guys right now is working on really calming her down when she sees other dogs. And then you can work on her greetings after that. She's just getting herself into like a barky kind of jerk state before she even goes up to greet the dog, and that's not helpful. And then when you're through a fence, you don't have to worry about the muzzle and that kind of stuff too, which is nice. So what I've been doing, even if I hear a dog barking inside its house, I've been stopping, letting her look and sniff and give her a goodie, and then once she's stopped listening and she seems kind of bored, then we'll move on. Because I want that to be what happens when she sees other dogs. She can stop and listen and then get bored, instead of having to move away all the time and avoid. So we're actually we're on the hunt for dogs instead of trying to avoid them like you've been doing. And she's obviously not ready for a straight greeting on the sidewalk, so we will be making a wide circle around dogs that are walking on leash, but we are looking for dogs that are behind a fence or in their yard. And when we find them, we're just going to stay there. I'll try and do a video once we find some. Once we find some, we're just going to stand there. And if we need to cross the street, so if there was a dog here, we would probably stay over here. And I would just let Coco watch and get excited and then relax and reward her for focusing on me. And then we will just stay here until the other dog calms down and Coco calms down. So I usually try to make all my walks, especially when you're dealing with a reactive dog, into some kind of training situation. So somehow being around so she's dragging right now to go see the snow. Good girl. Good job. So I just stopped her physically with the leash, but I didn't drag her back towards me. I'm just rewarding her for coming on her own. She's so big that you can't really drag her anyways. I mean, you can try. But leash corrections are just not going to happen for you. Okay, let's go. Good girl. We're on my left, please. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. Good girl. I'm just encouraging her to stay on one side. I didn't ask you what side you've been walking around, but left seems to be working for her, so we're doing that. So when you're out, just, making a point of on your walks, looking for houses where the dogs, it's easier as the weather gets better because more dogs are outside, but looking for dogs that are out in their yard that seem relatively friendly. So not like a psycho beast that is looking like kind of angry. A dog that's barking, but that isn't like lunging at the fence or getting all crazy. One that just kind of runs up and barks in its yard. That's what you're looking for. And then if you use the same dog over and over again, you can start approaching and letting her. So like I would let her go sniff through that kind of fence as well. So that is what we're working on right now. And we just want to roll in the snow, don't we? We don't want to do any work. We just want to roll in the snow. So there's a dog barking in this house. So that's a good girl. She can't see the dog, so she's much more relaxed. But she did look when she heard it. So I'm just going to give her some goodies. She's doing a good job. So we're going to look at the house again. Good girl. Not too bothered by it. Okay, let's go. Good job. And part of your issue, I think, is also a bit of a guarding thing. I had her go around the house. We've just been meeting my dogs through the sliding glass door at this point. And now I'm going to work up to her meeting through a gate, but it's not quite as secure, so I want to go through the glass door first. And she's doing well. She hasn't been freaking out. She was in the car with them. I put her muzzle on and harnessed her in. And then I put the dogs in, and I put Argus in first. She barked at him, and then he barked back at her. And then she just she backed right down. Because as we all know, she's actually a bit of a baby. So I think she was just like, oh, okay, well, this one just barked back at me. And then she didn't bark when Lise and the puppy got in. So that was great. I felt really comfortable, actually, with her in the back and them in the car. So I'm going to throw her muzzle on and do a little bit more work around the house with them. But for now, she's doing great through the glass. She looks and doesn't bark. So we're going to try going through the gates in the next couple of days and keep working on our walks.